Hey everybody, Don Carr here with Mark Tremonti of Alter Bridge. Mark, thanks so much for being here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. We're going to talk about his PRS guitar and amp. So, you've been an endorser for a long time.
Yes, I have. Back since around 2000-ish, maybe 2001.
Wow.
Not sure. Yeah.
Wow. So it was like what, you and Carlos Santana? Right?
Yeah. At the time when I got my first signature model, it was only Carlos and myself.
Wow, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. Yeah, that's quite a story. I mean, check me if I'm wrong on this, but you kind of pushed Paul in some different areas, in the guitar design thing.
Yeah, I mean, in the guitar and amp design thing,
Yeah.
it's when I came on board, a gentleman named Jeff Lanahan came and approached me and said, "Would you like to try out one of our guitars?" And I had already been a fan of PRS guitars.
Right.
But they sent me a McCarty, which I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite guitars. I still have it today, and I've written so many songs on it. But when I bring the McCarty on stage, the pickup selector's down here, and in the moment live, I need to know where this is at.
Right.
I need to know where my volume knobs are. I'm accustomed to this setup. So it's like, all right, no big deal. We'll send you another guitar. Sent me another McCarty, I believe, with the pickup selector up here, and the selectors all in the same spot. And then I get it. I'm like, I love this feel and everything, but now the tone isn't quite right, and the neck's a little weird, for my style.
Yeah.
And after going through this thing for 3 or 4, trying to be respectful and say, I love your guitars, but it's just not what I do on stage. Finally, they said, why don't we just design a guitar for you and make it your signature model? So
Nice.
I got lucky being picky, and now I've got my signature model.
Yeah, you do, man. It's done really well. I mean, it's a huge seller. You have an SE version of it now, right?
Yeah, we have a few. We've had a lot of different versions over the years. We've had the SE, and then we've had the SE Custom. We had the original SE that I really loved. There's like a very thinner version of it.
Oh, okay.
I still have a bunch of those I really dig. We've got the baritone that we did a limited edition of.
Oh, wow.
Which sold out, which was a killer guitar. And then we have the fixed bridge and the float and the tremolo version of the American made, and you can get it in pretty much any finish you want.
Yeah, nice, man. Nice. And so this one that you're playing right now is like one of your faves? It's your...
Yeah, this is one of the newer ones. I've probably had it maybe for 3 years, but it just plays great. This is my day off in the hotel or back lounge of the bus guitar. This is one I play more than any guitar right now.
Nice.
It just feels great. Over the years, I've become more of a fan of just the fixed bridge, especially since I'm tuning all over the place when I'm writing, and it's just feels better to me.
Yeah, right. Especially if you go to like extremely low tunings, then that changes the tremolo angle and all that, and then you're in there tightening the claw, and it's
I'll
like
never go to
like,
low tunings with the floating bridge.
Yeah.
Only I'll do maybe just a half step down.
Right.
Drop D will be the lowest I'll use with a bar.
Yeah, right. Understandable. So, and I'm assuming like with all those guitars, you're probably using different gauge strings with different tunings and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
on most of my guitars, not on this one, but on most of my guitars, I have a sticker across this plate with the string gauge on it. I didn't put it there, my tech does. So over the years, you see him there. So each guitar is kind of assigned to its tuning. So if we have stuff that's down and drop B, I've got specific guitars that can handle that. And the string gauge is right there on the guitar.
Right. Well, yeah, and the neck gets accustomed to it, and the whole setup. Get the intonation right on it. But, yeah, man. One of the great things about your guitar is that, just from a listener standpoint, is that it's really articulate.
Yes.
I mean, that it's high output and it's really well balanced, but it's super articulate. I mean, what's the mojo in that? Man?
That's one of the biggest things for me is I grew up as a real kind of percussive rhythm player, and it needed, whenever I sound check an amp, I pretty much just hammer on some muted right-hand stuff, and it needs to be tight, it needs to kick you in the chest. And when we were designing this amp, that was one of my main things. It couldn't be round and woolly. It needed to be tight and percussive. But a lot of times when you try to attack that percussive, tight rhythm sound, your lead tone gets really brittle and hurtful. So it's a fine dance between getting that lead tone to sing and that rhythm tone to kick you in the chest at the same time. So that was the the main thing we hunted down on this amp, and I think I'm very happy with the way it turned out. And on top of it, the clean tone is one of my favorite clean tones, and that's just kind of,
wow.
That was one of the things we didn't have to work on a lot. I just said, I want a Fender Twin style clean with a lot of headroom, a lot of presence. I use my fingers when I play clean. You're never going to see me strumming clean. So I wanted to sound very much like a Fender Twin, almost like an open back 212 combo. I wanted to sound like that, but in a little 15 watt head. And first time I turned on the clean, I was blown away. I mean, you did an amazing job. It's also like it has a push-pull on here where you can add a little bit of boost. It almost brightens it up, makes it a little more snappy for finger style stuff. But it's my favorite amp. I don't just say it because it's got my name on it.
Well, yeah, but that's the whole point, is that you wanted to make an amp for you.
Yeah.
An amp that you can use and actually feel good about. And this is the MT15.
Yes.
Obviously, yeah, which is, I mean, man, it's perfect, killer sounding amp, by the way. It really
I love
is.
it. Thank you.
And the same thing, just tons of gain, just all the gain you would ever want, but you don't lose any clarity.
No, it's and you can turn the gain down to to there, and it still sounds like it's more than enough.
Yeah.
I never put any pedals in front of this amp. I never have, as far as gain, overdrive, or anything like that.
Cool.
The only pedal I'll ever really use is a delay in the effects loop. Yeah, it's all I need. When I go home, over the years I collect guitar amps like people collect baseball cards. I have every amp you could imagine, and stacks and stacks and stacks of them. And when I go home, I plug into this little $600 amplifier.
Nice.
I just wish when I was a kid I could have spent $600 and had an amp that was as good as a boutique amp that, I don't want to name names, but I think it's just as good as any of the boutique amps I've collected.
Yeah, well, and man, still more importantly, gives you a sound that you can use. That's really ultimately, these are all just tools to facilitate what you do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's inspires me, and it's what I track with in the studio.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool.
It's what I practice on. It's what I use for my clinics. It's what I use in the dressing rooms. It's my go-to.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because it's like 6L6s, right? In a 15-watt amp.
It's funny. It was 6L6s when we built it, and then all of a sudden I get a call from Paul saying, the factory that was making our 6L6s. You hear the story all the time, like the this special Marshall cabinet was only for this year because the factory burned down. That stuff happens.
Yeah, it's for real. Man.
So this place only had like 3,000 of the tubes left, and after that we were going to be out of luck. So we switched over to a Russian military base tube based on the 6L6.
Oh, okay.
That I think sounds even better. And I need to learn the damn thing. I always forget it, but it's like SRVT 1112, whatever it is.
Right.
But it's a 6L6 basically, but it sounds. I was nervous when I got it home, but they sent me the new tubes, and I did the blindfold taste test with me and my guitar buddies, and we all thought that this sounded better. So it made it even better.
Nice, an upgrade even. Yeah. So but back to the point, big glass at 15 watts.
Yes.
So
and not just one. You see a lot of these amps, and I mean this has so many gain stages. It has so many. Like a lot of times you see a 15-watt amp, and you have maybe one 6V6 or something.
Right.
But this thing has two 6L6 bass tubes, and then 5 12AX7s in there, and it's got a lot of depth to it. And it's got a big transformer for such a little amp. It sounds more like a 50-watt amp than it does a 15-watt amp.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people have said. This thing is loud. It's
right. It's kind of hiding back there. It's like, I'm a 15-watt amp. Sure, go ahead and believe that.
And when I'm at home, I love this cabinet. This 112 cabinet is perfect for this thing. But also at home, I put it through a 412 cabinet.
Oh wow!
For me, it's just deeper. It's more what I'm used to.
Sure.
This is great for tracking. It's punchy. It's perfect for traveling with.
Yep.
But at home, I plug it into a 412, and it sounds great.
Man, that's amazing that it drives a 412 that way. Because you're used to the sound of 100-watt amps, and so that
and you
still
can
has
chunk
that same...
on it and get that low end kick that you want out of it. It's not. That being said, I can't take it on stage
Sure.
and play it at that level with two 412 cabinets.
Sure.
That's why right now we're working on the MT100, and that thing already kicks like a mule, and it's on its way.
So coming soon, huh?
Coming soon.
Coming soon. Nice, man. Yeah. Nice. Mark, thanks so much for being here, man. Really appreciate it.